What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And today we're going to discuss the draft pick trade that would lead to the selection of Sammy Watkins in our Sammy Watkins trade breakdown video. And this trade occurred during the 2014 NFL draft. So without further ado, let's jump right in. And the original trade saw the Buffalo Bills acquire the 4th overall selection in the draft from the Cleveland Browns in exchange for the 9th overall selection, as well as a 1st and 4th round pick in the 2015 NFL draft. So we will start with the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills selected wide receiver Sammy Watkins with the 4th overall pick. How did he do? Well, he had a strong rookie season. A pretty strong rookie year. He looked very good. And he struggles in the first half of 2015 due to injuries, and he ends up lashing out at fans on social media. Of course, that's the one thing you don't want to do as an athlete, lash out at your fan base. So he ends up having a strong conclusion to the 2015 season, but at this point, fans are still upset with the guy. He lashed out at them for a couple people saying you suck or you're a bust or whatever. And he has he misses most of the 2016 season due to a broken foot, which of course at this point his relationship is soured with the Buffalo fan base, so he gets traded. And he is traded to the Los Angeles Rams with a pick in the 2018 draft, the 194th pick, in exchange for cornerback E.J. Gaines and the 56th pick in the 2018 draft. So how did E.J. Gaines do in Buffalo? Well, Gaines himself wasn't exactly a superstar, but he had a solid season in the team's organization before he would walk as a free agent. And the 56th pick ends up getting traded alongside the 53rd and 12th picks to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in exchange for the 7th overall selection and the 255th. So the 7th overall selection, Buffalo would select quarterback Josh Allen. And Josh Allen took over the starter's role during the Week 1 campaign of the 2018 season. And he proved to be a gunslinger with running ability, but his accuracy wasn't 100%. So he shows potential, and he develops even more so in 2019, but continues to lose the ball, committing a lot of fumbles. He, at this point in time, 2020 by far the best year of his career. He's not exactly in the MVP race, but he's definitely making a name for himself. And he had a really good 2020. It's definitely looking like Josh Allen is the franchise quarterback for the Bills, assuming he can stay healthy. A mobile gunslinger, that's really, really pressing it. But fingers crossed for Buffalo. Now, the 255th pick, they would select wide receiver Austin Crowell, who did not make the team. Now, unlike normally I would jump back and discuss the Browns. We're just going to knock out the Rams and the Buccaneers here. So the Rams with Sammy Watkins, he was a good player for a single season before he would walk. The Bills had declined his 5th-year option, so the Rams knew they were getting a 1-year rental player in him unless they signed to an extension. And 194 ends up getting traded, so it does not get discussed today. And then we have the Buccaneers. Now the Buccaneers, with a 12th pick, would select nose tackle Vita Vea. And Vita Vea has been okay, but not extremely dominant. So he's been kind of rotating in and out. And he's more of a run stuffer than a pass rusher. So you're never going to get those amazing numbers with him. He does better in real life than it looks like he's doing on the stat sheet. Now, he ends up breaking his leg week 5 of the 2020 season, effectively ending his season. And the Buccaneers did feel his loss. They started allowing a few more rushing yards than they were used to, but still not a great season for him. Not a great career at this point through the stat sheet. The 53rd pick would be used on cornerback M.J. Stewart, and M.J. Stewart struggled to play over 2 seasons before being cut by the team, and the 56th pick would be traded, not discussed in this video. So now we're going to go back to the Browns. So the Browns got the 9th pick, and they would trade the 9th pick along with the 145th pick to the Minnesota Vikings for the 8th overall pick in typical Browns fashion. We saw this before with Trent Richardson. They trade up one spot for some strange reason. And with the 8th pick, the Browns would select cornerback Justin Gilbert. So Justin Gilbert was a bust for the team. There's no other way of saying it. He struggled mightily over 2 years before he was dealt. And he gets dealt to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for the 202nd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. Now, they end up trading the 202nd pick back to Pittsburgh in exchange for a 2019 7th-round pick and wide receiver Sammy Coates. So Sammy Coates, he spent 1 year as a wide receiver 4 in Cleveland before being cut, again proving the Roethlisberger effect. And that 7th-round pick would become the 234th in the 2019 draft, and this pick gets traded. Now, this will be discussed in a future video. This was in the Jarvis Landry trade breakdown. This one will be out hopefully in a few weeks. So now we're going to come back, and remember, the Browns acquired 2 picks in 2015 for Buffalo. Now, those 2 picks would become the 19th and 115th, respectively. So the 19th pick would be used on center Cameron Erving. And Erving was okay, not great, but not bad, over 2 seasons before he was traded by the Browns. And he gets traded to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for the 159th pick in the 2018 draft. And this pick, 159, ends up getting traded to New England alongside defensive tackle Danny Shelton for a 2019 3rd-round pick. This pick is the 96th overall selection. It gets traded, and this will be discussed in a future video, in the Odell Beckham Jr. video. Now, these 2, Odell and Landry, I'm going to try, if I can, to release them on the same day, if not in the same week, and maybe make it a Cleveland week. We'll see. Depends how things go. But, yeah, so those, essentially, the Watkins trade is still ongoing in the trade breakdown series. So the last player that the Browns selected with the 115th pick was safety Ibrahim Campbell. And Campbell was okay for 2.5 years before being cut unceremoniously. So now, obviously, we got the first half of this done. What about the second half? Let's start with New England. So 159 in 2018 ends up getting traded away. We're not going to discuss that one. Danny Shelton, defensive tackle Danny Shelton, he was a backup in 2018 for them. And he was an average starter in 2019 before he would walk as a free agent. So nothing great out of Danny Shelton. With Cameron Erving and the Kansas City Chiefs, he was a reserve lineman for 3 years, starting 25 games before being cut. So again, Kansas City got a decent player out of him, out of, a 5th-round pick. Now, Pittsburgh traded away the 202nd pick. Yes, the one that they traded to Cleveland, then traded to get back, they would end up shipping it away again. So their grade resolves on Justin Gilbert, and Gilbert was just a special teamer for a single season before being cut by the team. All in all, the Sammy Watkins trade really wasn't that impressive for any team. A lot of iffy names in this. The biggest name by far in this trade was Josh Allen, but again, it took a lot to get Allen. And yeah, that was the Sammy Watkins trade. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, this one is still technically ongoing. We have to discuss both the Odell Beckham Jr. trade and the Jarvis Landry trade. These two obviously were never going to fit on this page. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a good rest of your day.